All give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there pushing his word sincerely and in truth. Peace and blessings to the members of the elect, men, women, and children whom the Lord has foreordained to receive the spirit of truth and to receive the gift of mercy through the sacrifice of our Lord, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Right, as more and more news of COVID vaccinations being approved and being ready to be rolled out, more and more talk of the consequences of refusing to be vaccinated are surfacing. While countries are not mandating the vaccination, there are certain consequences that will come along with refusing to be vaccinated, which we warned people about. And this is just the beginning of the infringement of your rights, your so-called rights, for not going along, with the narrative that's being set out, and ultimately these same restrictions may be put on you, when it comes to the implementation of the RFID microchip. Right, so just going to read a few articles that go into certain consequences, of not taking the COVID vaccine. So this first one is from Sky News, and it was posted last week, Monday. It says COVID-19, people who refuse to get vaccine could be denied entry to venues, minister suggests. Right, so read on. It says people could refuse entry to a host of venues if they decline a coronavirus vaccine, a minister has suggested. Nadim Zahawi, who is responsible for the rollout of vaccines against COVID-19, said the jabs will not be compulsory. I think it is right that it is voluntary, he said. People have to be allowed to decide for themselves whether they want to be vaccinated or otherwise. Right? So that's one side of the coin. That's what they're saying up front. Right? But here it is now. But I think the very strong message that you will see, this is the way we return the whole country, and so it's good for the family, it's good for the community, it's good for you. It's good for your country to be vaccinated, and ultimately people will have to make a decision. Right? Mr. Zahawi confirmed that the government was looking at providing people who get the vaccine with an immunity passport to show that they have received it. And he told the BBC's World at One, I think you'll probably find that restaurants and bars and cinemas and other venues, sports venues, will probably use that system as they have done with the app. I think that in many ways, the pressure will come from both ways, from service providers who will say, look, demonstrate to us that you've been vaccinated, but also we will take the technology as easy, as accessible as possible. So they're trying to link, being vaccinated, with technology, right? And ultimately that will lead to the ushering in, of the RFID microchip, right? Ella Yashawamba beautifully goes into it from time to time, to show you that it's their medicine, it's their witchcraft, their witchcraft, their pharmakeia that they're using, to ultimately push this agenda. It's a big trump card for them, right? It says, ask specifically if those who refuse to get vaccinated could find they are restricted in what they do. Mr. Zahawi replied, I think people have to make a decision, but I think you'll find that many service providers will want to engage with this in the way they did with the app. Right? Encouraging results from trials of a number of COVID-19 vaccines have raised hope of a route out of the pandemic and a return to some form of normality in the months to come, which is just a carrot dangling before a donkey. There is no return to normalcy, right? There's not going to be a return to normalcy, right? But this is just one article suggesting, that you could be locked out of pubs and stuff like that. Let's jump to another article. This is from CTV News, Canadian news website, published November 28th, 2020. What happens if someone refuses a COVID-19 vaccine? Ethicists urge clarity on COVID-19 rollout. So I'm going to jump down to a section of it that says, can you refuse a vaccine? So it says, it is impossible for anyone to be forced to take the COVID-19 vaccine once it's available, but there could be real-life consequences to refusal. So that's the trick. Right? They just don't say, by law, we're not mandating you to take this. But you know what? There are going to be some consequences. Right? You're going to be denied certain services. You're going to be denied access to certain things. Right? It says people that don't want the vaccine, we all know. People that don't want the vaccine, we all know, have an absolute right not to have it. I mean, it's their bodies without question, Bowman said. But that is an ethical concern because what will likely happen to people within that group is more and more opportunities may slowly be shut off to them. For instance, individuals who aren't vaccinated may miss out on returning to the workplace or could face other restrictions involving group gatherings. To make matters trickier, the vaccine will not be immediately available to certain groups. Pregnant women and children who are not involved in clinical trials of the experimental vaccines will be excluded from vaccination until more clinical data is available. What the point I wanted to make was, he said that, people who refuse the vaccine will find that more and more opportunities may be shut off from them, and they would miss out on returning to the workplace or could face other restrictions involving group gatherings. So going to parties, going to sporting events, all things like that, you'll be banned from, right? And these things, they don't seem that, the restrictions are getting more and more, more and more, the consequences are getting more and more serious. But here we go with something even more serious, right? And this isn't going into the vaccines per se, but it's going into the testing, which will, spill over into the vaccine as well. This is from the New York Post. It was posted yesterday. It says, NYC Department of Education says teachers who refuse COVID-19 tests will be removed from payroll. All right? Get tested or get out. The Department of Education posted an internal rule Friday for members of the United Federation of Teachers, warning that those who refuse to be tested for COVID-19 in school will be put on leave and taken off the payroll. U of T members who don't consent to testing within 1 week of returning to their building will be placed on leave without pay. In addition, it added in reference to non-U of T school workers guidance regarding other staff who do not consent will be forthcoming. The staffers will not be allowed to submit COVID-19 results from a private doctor or other healthcare provider. So they want you to take their tests in school with their health professionals. They don't want you to go out and do it and get it from somebody else. So what? So they can dictate what the results are. So they can dictate what the levels of positivity and negativity are within their school, so they can push a certain agenda. Right? People's eyes are being opened to this, because if you look up, people refusing the COVID-19 vaccine, you realize that a lot of people are refusing it, More than half of New Yorkers are saying that they're gonna refuse it. I read an article also that says more than half of the fire department in New York said that they're gonna refuse it, Right? So they're gonna encounter a lot of pushback from people, and this ultimately is gonna lead to civil unrest, right? And imminently, civil war, right? Sedition. That's what it's gonna lead to, because you're gonna tell people that they can't have access to supermarkets and stuff like that, if they don't get vaccinated, they can't go to work, What we expect people to do, You expect people to just sit around and take this line down, right? This is digitalmusicnews.com. This was posted December 3rd. Americans who refuse a COVID-19 vaccine could be denied a second stimulus check, and there we go. There we go, This is one of the things that, brothers have prophesied within the spirit, a few months back. We've been saying that stimulus check, in addition to food stamps and certain other help that comes from the government, will be denied if you decide not to go along with COVID-19 vaccine, right? So it says Americans may be required to receive a COVID-19 vaccination in order to receive a second stimulus check payment of $1,500, according to newly revealed Democratic proposal. The proposal to require proof of COVID-19 vaccination was unveiled earlier today by longtime House Representative and Democratic presidential candidate John Delaney. It's unclear when a safe tested COVID-19 vaccine will be released and widely available, though Delaney clearly expects a near-term release. Delaney said the plan wouldn't force anyone to take the vaccine, but it would be required to receive any federal stimulus money. So here is again the double-edged sword that they're pushing. You know, hey, we're not forcing anyone to take it. It's not mandated by law, but there are certain consequences to not taking it. AKA, you won't get any federal money. You can't get any help from the government. So that extends to food stamps. You know, that extends to what is called Section 18. You know, whatever other help that comes from the government. That's federal money, right? We have to create, in my judgment, an incentive. Let's look at that word incentive. All right, so that word incentive says a thing that motivates or encourages someone to do something. A payment or a concession to stimulate greater output or investment. Right? Late Middle English from Latin incentivum, something that sets the tune or incites. And it says from incantare, to chant or charm, which goes back to what? Which goes back to witchcraft, yo. It's the spirit that led me to look that up, yo. Right? Which goes back to witchcraft, you know. Which is why you see, you know, former presidents talking about they're gonna go on national TV and get vaccinated on live TV, you know. You're hearing your celebrities coming out, you know, promoting the COVID-19 vaccine, your pastors, you know. This is all to charm you people, yo. These are all spells, witchcraft being put before you, right? To motivate and encourage you to do this, yo. Right? Hey, let's move on. It says for people to really accelerate. It says let me read over the sentence. We have to create, in my judgment, an incentive for people to really accelerate thinking about the vaccine. If you're still afraid of the vaccine and don't want to take it, that's your right. You won't participate in this program. Boom, there we go. All right? And that's just one thing, yo. The restrictions are going to grow by number, you know, as the days go by, yo. All right? One problem for health officials is that vaccines typically take years to be tested, released, and approved in this scenario. However, it becomes far more difficult or even impossible to determine any long-term side effects. A recent Gallup poll found that just 58% of Americans would voluntarily receive a COVID-19 vaccine. Right? It says Delaney noted that many Americans refuse the vaccine, but he noted that the requirement would still benefit those people, however, even if they aren't eligible to receive a $1,500 second stimulus check. All right, but guess what? Delaney continued. You're going to benefit somehow, anyhow, because we'll get the country to herd immunity faster, which benefits you, so I think everyone wins. All right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to bring up from that article. Let's just bring out a couple precepts and wrap it up there. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that right grievousnesses which they have prescribed. And these different restrictions are grievous decrees and unrighteous decrees, yo. Right, to turn aside the need from judgment and to take away the right of the poor, my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless. Right? But what saith the Lord, and what will ye do in the day of visitation and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help, and where will ye leave your glory? All right, so the Heavenly Father is about to bring sore judgment on this world, yo. Right? But people refuse to acknowledge that. People refuse to acknowledge that we're in the end times, and that the hour of temptation is about to come upon all the earth to try them, yo. The Apostle Tahar said, you know, the elect of the UK will be tried first, right? And it's through the Spirit that he said that, yo. The hour of temptation is coming, you know, and as we said at camp yesterday, you know, we reiterated over and over again, we have to beg, you know, which is what pray means. We have to beg to be delivered, yo. We have to beg for a space on that chariot, beg to be given the spiritual reinforcement, you know, to go through that time, because there is no way you can do it on your own, yo. If Yahweh Shem Yahshai doesn't send those angels, to give you spiritual reinforcement, right? You will not be able to resist. You will not be able to overcome, you know. So we gotta stay prayed up. Revelation 3:10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon all the earth. Right? Behold, I come quickly. Hold fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. In him that overcometh, right, the things that are coming, right, will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out, and I will write upon him the name of my God, the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. Let's look up that word, overcometh. All right, so that word overcometh.
Strong's G 3528. Nikao. Nikao.
Right, nikao. And it says to conquer, to carry off the victory, to come off victorious. Right? Of Yahushua victorious over his foes, of Christians that hold their faith even unto death against the power of their foes and temptations and persecutions. Right? When one is arraigned or goes to law to win the case, maintain one's cause. Right? So we have to overcome, and the victory is already written, yo. The elect has already overcome. Yahushua has already overcome, and Yahushua is in us. Right? So what I want to say, Kalalali, how about Shem Yahushai, Bashem Rakako, that should give me the spirit to this lesson, and hopefully it was edifying to the elect. Until the next time, I say Shalom.